and this kitchen has a cockroach problem.
Typical kitchen, generally the complaints will be cockroaches. And all. And there is a cabinet below. Wipe it off. Equipment here, what we are looking at is fipronil gel.
Hey guys, Nikhil here from Home Banao. With me is Girish from Hygienic Pest Control, one of India's largest and oldest pest control companies. Right now we're in a kitchen and this kitchen has a cockroach problem. So Girish, thank you so much for allowing us to document this video.
Thank you, Nikhil, for having me.
So can you please take us through what exactly happens in, a cockroach infestation? What are the things which you do and how do you even take care of this?
Correct.
But before that, we've done a detailed interview with Girish on pest control in India. Precautions to take, what are the different kinds of chemicals which are being used, what is safe for consumers. Check out that interview right here. So Girish, over to you about this cockroach infestation.
Alright, Nikhil, let's take a generic scenario wherein we are all nowadays living in apartments or independent houses. Cockroaches is a major problem when it comes to apartments or even residences, especially breeding in the kitchen areas. So that's why we are emphasizing on a kitchen. But then the most crucial part where companies or even the technicians miss out is the inspection part. So I always tell my customers, see, we might be expert on pests, but then we are not expert on your residences. So our end user will know their residences better. So if suddenly somebody asks, okay, the owner of this residence, where the cockroaches or where are you specifically finding the cockroaches or even specifically to do with ants, the ant movements, we will not know. We will know the treatment to carry it out for them, but not where it's predominantly present. Now,
step one is
inspection.
Okay.
It's a very crucial. So when a technician comes to a residence or a supervisor manager, let us first inspect the place and understand what the customer is facing a problem for. So let's say a typical kitchen, generally the complaints will be cockroaches or ants. So let's say we come to a kitchen like this. Now this resident is newly moving to this apartment. So the kitchen is slightly empty. But then what we are looking for is either cockroach droppings, which are small oval shaped droppings which are there, or we can see some black marks around the drain pipes and all. So coming to these draws, channels and all, you look for any marks of cockroaches around. So
when you refer to mark of cockroaches, what exactly are you referring to?
So basically either it will be a dropping or it can be stain marks, black stain marks,
okay,
where the cockroaches movement is more.
Okay.
So that, because when it rubs the wall or any cabinets and all, you will have the marking. So you have to be very careful in citing where the breeding is happening.
So normally where all do you check? One was the drawer.
So you check the drawers. Another crucial area is the sink area.
Okay.
So this is the kitchen sink and there is a cabinet below.
Okay.
If you see, there is a drain pipe which is going.
Yes.
There might be a breeding there. See, where you can see some muck, some dirt and all there.
Right.
So these are all linked to the gutter of the buildings.
Right.
Outside gutters.
Right.
So there is where the major cockroaches breed, and after that they move on inside the apartment.
Correct.
Next, very crucial is these beading next to the hob. There's a hob or chimney. So there is a beading which is there. You can tryly push it. See, I can see some live ants around, if you can notice.
Yes, yes.
So there are ants around here.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that ants is a complaint in this house. Okay. Another thing is, we are looking for cockroaches. But then there is nothing which I can visibly see.
Okay.
As of now. Now coming down under the hob is where the pipe and all is passing.
Okay.
Again, there also we can't see any marking. Mm-hmm. But this would be an ideal scenario because the main reason is all the food preparation happens in this area. So any spillage of the food, stains or anything happens around here. Breeding or cockroach, an attractant for cockroaches will be somewhere here.
Okay.
Then there are cabinets around here also. We are just looking for markings or any cracks and crevices which is there. And that might be the cockroaches, a sign that cockroaches are breeding there. We have already noticed ants. Unlike cockroaches, ants can be there anywhere. Cockroaches haphazard. They will go multiple places, but they want is food. So that's why these are the major points where you are looking for.
Normally speaking, in most of the home inspections where you have done, where have you found the breeding happen?
Breeding under the hob or mainly under the sink. Yes.
What about these sockets and all that?
Sockets and all are very crucial. But then again, we have to be very careful. You have to understand the person or the technician who's coming, he's equipped enough to do pest control services. So when it comes to any electrical points, I'll always recommend you, if you know that there are chances of cockroaches, call an electrician along in the same time, so that they will open those spaces and then we do a spray control for them. Bear in mind, one important point to be noticed is when you are doing spraying on any electrical area, make sure the chemical is mixed along with oiled paste.
Okay.
Either
shouldn't be water based.
Not a water based, because obviously it can lead to a short circuit. So we always recommend an oil based.
So coming back to this, once you finish your inspection and you are able to identify some spots of breeding, what do you do next?
So then we start with the treatment process.
Okay.
See, now for cockroaches, there are multiple equipments which we use. This is called as a pressure pump, wherein we use the chemical with water or oil, as I mentioned, based on the scenario, based on the target pest. So we do a pressure pump, fill it, pump it, and then thorough spray. But that is for rest of the areas. This small equipment here, what we are looking at, is called as a gel applicator and fipronil gel. What we use this is, these are ideally being treated for the cabinets, the corners. What happens is the cockroach comes and it is along with the bait. So cockroach comes and tries to eat that bait, and there is a small proportion of chemical there, fipronil, which because of the chemical it will die.
Okay.
And nowadays the latest technology chemical also has cascading effect, wherein one dies, the other one tries to feed on it, that whole chain of that also dies. So it's a chain event.
So what's the difference? Like, when is this done and when is this done?
Okay, I'll explain you very clear. Gel is done as a residence like this where we are. It's an empty kitchen currently. But suppose a resident is already staying, you will have all your dabbas, grains, rice, vegetables all placed in your kitchen. It is not recommended to spray inside them. So in those scenarios, we recommend a gel application.
So spray is done when you have an open kitchen and empty kitchen.
Empty kitchen.
And gel is for when?
For when the cabinets are full with items.
So is spray like, if the cockroach comes in contact with the spray, does it die immediately?
Let me quote this. A chemical spray, it's a direct contact. The efficacy rate is far more when it comes to a spray treatment as compared to a gel. When I compare both the items, a spray is a better outcome, definitely. But then to ease, let's look at it, Nikhil. Suppose a few years back, we did not have gel into picture. So if you remember then, if you had to do a pest control for a kitchen, you had to literally empty the entire kitchen. All your dabbas, vessels, your fruits, vegetables, whatever is kept in the kitchen, empty it, thorough spray it, and then put it back. It's a Herculean job today. We are all working. We don't have shortage of time. Right. We have to depend on house help to do all these work. Yes, in the current scenario, to ease that effect is where the gel application has come to picture.
Okay.
So gel makes it more simpler. You just apply in the corners, in the hinges and everything, where the cockroach movement will be there. Okay. Let me show you an example. If you can look at this cabinet here, there is corners. Right down the corners, and there are hinges.
Right.
Okay. Hinges, why I mention hinges is, next to the hinges, there will always be a small crack or there will be a grab in between the laminate, and then cockroaches might be moving in. So these areas, then I would do a spot treatment, gel spot treatment in the corners and on the hinges as well. So what happens is, then it is closer to where the cockroach movement might be there, and it will come in contact with this, it will try to consume it and it will die.
Okay. So spray, I understood why I need to call you.
Correct.
For a gel, why do I need to call you?
See, again, how much ever you say, these are all, I've explained, this is very clear. The terminology is, these are all synthetic chemicals.
Okay.
These are all synthetic chemicals. Even if it at a very minuscule percentage, but the fipronil 0.05% is the amount of chemical which is applicable in a gel. But again, that fipronil is a synthetic chemical. So when you're handling that, you need to have some expertise. This is where I recommend always to go get a treatment from a professionally licensed company.
So do I need a license if I want to be able to use these chemicals?
Yes, absolutely.
Wait, so what about the consumer products which are available on
consumer
Amazon?
Products, again, when it comes to consumer products, the percentage may be far low, or they might have taken an approval. But then again, let's take an example. If these gels by mistakenly gets consumed by a child, just for hypothetical perspective, consumed, then there might not be a fatality, but then still there will be consequences. There will be diarrhea, loose motion, or some other causes which it can come across.
Okay.
So for these reasons is where we said that
please get a
professional company to do.
And the efficacy which you guys have, the chemicals, is a lot higher than what's commercially available.
Obviously, the percentage will be slightly more also.
Okay.
So then the end output will be far better.
Interesting. So just take me through what happens, like how exactly is it sprayed everywhere, or how gel is applied in the corners, I understood. Yes. But what about the spray? How
thorough
is that
spray, if as I told you, in this scenario the cabinets are empty, we can go ahead and spray it. So we do a thorough spraying for all the cabinets inside, outside. Another very important thing is, as I explained to you, is that the drain pipe.
Yeah.
So where the sink is, because that is the direct connect to the sewers, you spray it there, it will clear all the channel and go all the way down.
Okay.
So a thorough spraying there is very crucial for cockroach control when you're looking at.
So after you do your treatment, tell me two things. What are the safety precautions I need to take as a consumer so that I don't get hurt?
Okay.
Or my child doesn't get hurt. And second, what are some preventive maintenance which I can do to make sure, cockroaches stay away?
Correct. Okay. So coming to the first part, the precautions which you have to take is, as I told you, these are chemicals, so stand slightly away. If you come in contact with the chemical by any chance, just wash your hand with soap. That's okay. If it comes in contact with your eyes or something, just wash your eyes off. Clean water should do the work as of for now. But if any respiratory issues, immediately get in touch with the doctor.
Oh.
So that.
And how long am I supposed to stay away from the kitchen?
So now, again, these are all latest chemicals which are there, which our company uses all latest chemicals. Most of them are WHO approved. There is no requirement for you to stay away from the house.
Okay.
But still saying that, you can carry on with your own process. One recommendation I always say, might not be mentioned in the label, but I recommend it, is cooked food, like cooked rice, dal, and these are all absorbents.
Okay.
So there are chances that can absorb these chemicals. So if there is any cooked food, either put it away in the fridge or keep it away from where the treatment is happening. Again, cooked food. Raw food, vegetables, no problem. You just wash it and use it, no problem. But then cooked food, just be careful with that. So I would say at least 2 hours post the treatment, not to have any cooked food around during that. From the treatment, obviously goes without doubt that don't cook it, just because it's an extra precaution which you're going to take. Ultimately, these are things which you're going to consume, which you'll go put in your mouth. Let us be careful on what we are consuming. So I would recommend not to cook or keep it.
2 to 3 hours minimum.
Yes, that's more than enough. All these latest chemicals, you don't have to worry more on that.
Should I wash my kitchen after that or anything?
Not required as such. Okay. See, another one fatal mistake which people do, not a fatal mistake, but then a mistake which people do is post the treatment, immediately wash off the entire kitchen. Let me understand, why are we doing this process in the first place? You have a problem, you have done a solution, not to wipe it off. So might as well not do a treatment then. So if you are, so again, next question is, when should I do a deep cleaning? Please do a deep cleaning before the pest control done. The whole idea is the efficacy rate of the chemical to stay on the surfaces for longer. Okay. So in general, let's say if you do a treatment for cockroach control, a bare minimum to minimum, a manufacturer gives you up to 3 months, 90 days.
Warranty.
I can't mention it specifically as a warranty because it is not that.
Basically 3 months efficacy of the chemical will be there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because again, as I have explained this, 50% of it is the treatment which we are carrying out. 50% is also how you manage the property, how you keep the house clean, how in an apartment like this, your neighbors keep their houses clean, because that does affect here. See, you might be keeping the house the most pristine way as possible and taking care of all the pest control done and everything. But still, if your neighbor is not managing the property well, there can be pests which can come, because we are all interlinked. There are drainage pipes going through, there are electrical lines which are coming through.
So just summarizing the precautions, first is, of course, try to stay 2-3 hours away, after the treatment is done from contact. In case you do get in contact, wash your hands thoroughly. If it goes to your eyes, wash them thoroughly with normal water.
Correct.
Say, for example, you end up eating something which has come in contact with our medicine.
I would not recommend. Be careful, so that, as I told you, if there is any contamination, let's not go there. It can be riskier. Okay. Because ultimately,
it is a chemical.
It's a chemical which you are consuming. So I would not recommend.
Okay.
If by mistake you have consumed or you drank off by any chance, it happens. please immediately report to the doctors and then take the necessary precautions thereafter.
Of course. And then with respect to food, raw fruits and vegetables, if they've come in contact, you just wash them and you can go for it. Cooked food, you're like avoid.
During that time frame from the start of the treatment till the 2 hours later.
Okay.
Because what happens is these chemicals do let out fumes.
And the cooked food absorbs.
And the cooked food absorbs it. So that's all. So you are avoiding that contamination.
And don't immediately clear the surface which has...
Please don't. Repeatedly, see, what happens is you want the end result to stay as long as possible. So recommended, see, now let me quote it here, that there are companies or people who will quote that you do one treatment and lifelong cockroaches don't come. Please don't get it. Because the manufacturer who manufactures these chemicals itself give you guarantee only for 90 days. So that's why whenever we do services, example, I'll tell you, we recommend a customer to take an AMC, annual maintenance contract.
Okay.
Every quarter or sometimes once in 4 months, we do a treatment for the house and then it's a thorough check. We are taking care of all the pests and then it goes throughout the year.
Okay.
That's why we keep the cycle of either 90 days or maximum 120 days.
So I think that's about it. Thank you so much for this, Girish. Guys, in the links in the description, we'll give the link to book one of their services. We'll give a link to their website so that you can see their credentials. You can also get in touch with them directly. The number will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching. See you in our next video.